seem to almost suggest that they come to your countries with a lesser breed of values.
No, I don't think I said that at any point, and that's another time you've tried to put something in my mouth. I said, and before we got all confrontational, which you did from the get-go, I said what the problem is here is that these things are all rubbing against.
Hello guys, how you all doing? Welcome back again to another reaction video. Guys, I'm going to be taking you guys to modern wisdom, and I'll be reacting to this amazing video titled Douglas Murray takes on Muslim activists and leave them speechless. MP question and answer. Guys, I'm super sure you're going to love and enjoy every bit of this, so no further talking, let's dive into it and watch it out.
They seem to almost suggest that they come to your countries with a lesser breed of values.
No, I don't think I said that at any point, and that's another time you've tried to put something in my mouth. I said, and before we got all confrontational, which you did from the get-go, I said what the problem is here is that these things are all rubbing against each other.
Douglas Murray is at it again. This time, he takes on a host of Muslim activists in Qatar over immigration and the compatibility of Islam with Western culture. Douglas Murray did not hold back.
Please.
Hi, I'm Hamad Abu Hawash. I'm a senior at Georgetown University. And my question is to Mr. Douglas Murray. And before I ask my question, I just want to say, you said no sound bites, but then you said the developing world cannot move to the developed world. I don't know what that's about.
I said it before.
My question is, since you brought up migration from the developing world, I'd like to ask you this. Every year, the developed world sends about $300 billion of aid to the developing world, but the developing world sends back trillions in debt repayments to the developed world. Now, don't you think that this is the main reason why migrants are moving to Europe? Because money is moving out of the developing world. Wealth is leaving the developing world and moving to the developed world, to build on what Lamont Hill said. Don't you think this is why people are moving to the Western world, to the developed world?
Well, no, I don't. Again, I repeat the fact there are no simple answers. And if it was simply the fact that you could, I don't know, do a debt default or something and solve the whole migration issue, then that would be great. But it just isn't the case. You think that if for instance, all African countries were allowed to default on debt, that they'd become burgeoning, flourishing societies? You think that the problem across, for instance, sub-Saharan Africa isn't just unbelievable greed and theft by politician after politician? You think that if you just wrote off the debt, that would stop being an issue and everyone would become transparent and clean in their dealings with money? I mean, the problems are much deeper than this. They're much deeper than just a simple solution like that. As, if I may just add quickly to the previous two comments, the late, very distinguished American diplomat Daniel Patrick Moynihan had a wonderful rule he came up with, known as Moynihan's Law, where he said that human rights, claims of human rights violations often happen in exactly inverse proportion to human rights violations. That is, you hear about them in the countries that are most free. And before long, you can end up with the presumption that the most free countries are the ones who are most abusive of human rights. And this happens with the case when we talk about our leaders and the ones, it's all very well. We can talk about the Trump administration, we can talk about the democracies and so on for all we like. We can all make criticisms and we all should. But, okay,
Briefly.
Mr. Putin, what are you going to do about him? What are you going to do about the mullahs in Iran? What are you going to do about the House of Saud in Saudi Arabia? You see, what we end up with is this situation. We go, oh, Mr. Trump. We can all do that. Believe me, I can riff on Trump
again, you're being
all
quite
day.
selective, aren't you?
What are you going to do about the people you can't do anything about? Are you going to ignore them? Are you going to give them a pass? Or are you just going to enjoy beating up on the democracy?
I hate to have to interrupt you. There's something called democracy, though, isn't there? Elections.
Notice how the woman leading the panel thinks that she has just debunked all of what Douglas Murray has just said by simply referring to democracy. The very crux of Douglas Murray's argument is that most often developing countries tend to have less functional economic and democratic structures internally, such that just getting rid of the debt by itself would not entirely solve the migration crisis. Political instability and conflict within countries can further destabilize economies and endanger lives, pushing individuals to seek safety and stability abroad. The World Bank's reports indicate that political instability and violence significantly impact economic performance, reducing investments and hindering economic growth. This, in turn, exacerbates unemployment and poverty, pushing more people towards migration as a means of escaping untenable situations. This debate is about to get even more heated.
Another question, please.
So I'm going to talk briefly about, my mother's experience as an immigrant, and I want to touch here on something that Mark Lamont Hill said, this power of education and telling people how refugees fit into the wider context of economic development. Here's why I'm very skeptical about that. Because when my mother arrived in the UK and her parents arrived in the UK, people still called them dirty packies. When she had graduated from Oxford University, she was still a brown person who was not seen as a citizen, right? So to what extent can we really sell this idea that being educated or fitting X, Y, and Z criteria is what you need to do as a refugee for people to humanize you? The inherent problem with these people is that they don't humanize you. You can't fulfill your oppressor's criteria so that they see you as human. So how do you humanize people?
Dehumanizing refugees, thank you very much. And with this, let me go to you, Douglas Murray, because much of your argument, Douglas, seems to be about the us versus them, the fact that, we have our own values, our own Britishness, our own virtues, and they will come to our shores with their values, their tradition. They come to your countries with a lesser breed of values.
No, I don't think I said that at any point, and that's another time you've tried to put something in my mouth.
So when you talk about the difference in values, what do you suggest?
Look, first of all, I didn't say that. I said that there are challenges because we do know that there are challenges, and let's just be frank about this. I mean, for instance, I've been in the Gulf for the last week or so. I see more burqas in my home city of London than I have seen in the Gulf in recent days, certainly here in Doha. Now, I can't say I'm delighted by the sight of more and more burqas in London. Do I feel any hatred of the people who wear them? Of course not. Of course not. But I can't say I'm elated by it. And definitely there are times I think, what percentage of burqas in this area becomes like not that pleasant for everyone else.
But again, is it all down to burqas? Because again, you're not asking people with other traditions whether they care about the sight of people drinking alcohol or going up in bikinis. Again, it's a very
we could in Britain
Western-centric viewpoint.
I'm not. I have to say, you're going to bark up the wrong tree if you think you're going to persuade a Brit that we should stop drinking alcohol because of people arriving in our country. I mean, that's not going to happen. These things are all a bit of give and take.
You bring your own traditions that don't quite fit with theirs.
Well,
they don't.
Yeah, there are, as I said, and before we got all confrontational, which you did from the get-go, I said what the problem is here is that these things are all rubbing against each other. And in that situation, you have to work out what things you're willing to give up, which things you're willing to compromise on, and which ones you're not. You're not going to persuade the Brits to massively change their culture, but let me just make the point. Every single society has certain aspects of it doesn't want to give up. This one will. In Qatar, this one will. Everyone does. So please don't try to make this a kind of bigoted European thing. That would be a very dishonest way to. That would be a very dishonest way to represent it.
One of the critical insights to consider in this debate is the difference in foundational values between traditionally liberal Western societies and those governed by strict interpretations of Islamic law. Western democracies have evolved to place a high value on individual rights, including the freedom of expression and the separation of church and state. This liberal tradition encourages a marketplace of ideas where beliefs and opinions, including those on religion, are subject to scrutiny, debate, and even satire. Murray's concern is that the acceptance or imposition of laws and norms that restrict these freedoms in favor of protecting religious sentiments could lead to a chilling effect on speech and thought. It's a scenario where the fear of offending can stifle creativity, intellectual debate, and the critical questioning of religious and societal norms. This debate is not theoretical, but has manifested in various incidents that have sparked international controversy. By understanding the complex pathways to radicalization, societies can develop more effective strategies to counter extremist narratives and foster an environment where diversity and dialogue thrive over division and discord.
Wow, guys, this was an answer one, guys. From what we heard from Douglas Murray, you guys could really see the estate of honest. Yes, the man was so honest, guys. Like the problem that Britain are facing right now is that there are a lot of immigrants. So a lot of the challenges that the Britain has been passing through is that there have been a lot of immigrants, massive immigrants that have been coming to Britain with different mindsets. with different cultures, with different traditions, with different belief, with different, so many things. And guys, I believe that has been causing a lot of problem in the British. Guys, like, for goodness sake, like, why would someone decide to leave his religious country? Why would someone will leave his father's land and go to another different land, another different land with different belief, with different culture, with different attitude, with different traditions? Guy, like, I don't think that is right. Okay, I don't think it's right, because the first thing, any immigrants that migrant to another different country, first thing that should be coming to that person's mind is to, that particular country that you are going, the first thing that should be coming to your mind is to accept their culture, to accept their belief, to accept their tradition, to accept their way of living, to abide in their rules, to abide in their laws. Not you migrating from another different country to another different country, and you are trying to to influence other people with your own tradition, with your own belief. As in, you want the people that you are meeting there to start living the way you are living, to start believing on what you believe. Guys, is that really possible? I don't think that is ever possible at all. It's not ever possible. Let's say, for instance, I have a visitor, someone is coming to my house. You are coming to my house, and by the time you came to my house, like, as in, you decide to change my way of living. You take, if I'm eating rice, you say no, rice is not good, eat this. If I'm doing this, you say no, do this. If I want to like that, you say no. As in, the person will just be in charge of me instead of me being in charge of the person. Guys, is that possible? Is that normal? I don't think it's normal at all. So I believe that every immigrant should, they should respect that particular country which they found themselves to. They should respect them. They should follow their tradition. They should abide in their law. Okay, they should follow their principles, their rules. They should know the do's and the don'ts. Yeah, they should outline all those things. So not them coming to another different religion and you start resisting, and you start making a lot of people there to to start living like you. You want them to be as in to start living like you. Guys, I don't think that can be ever be possible. Okay, guys, like Douglas Murray, oh my God, his answers are always so sweet. His honesty, his level of honesty is so beautiful. Guys, I really enjoyed every bit of this video because I believe that most of the problem that the Britain have been facing right now is the immigrants. Like, why would you leave your father's country to another man's country, and you are going there to cause nuisance? You are going there to cause problem. Like if most of this country, if they did not to state some of the rules and regulation, I don't think anybody would ever dream of going there. Yes, I don't think they would ever dream of going there. So since you love that country and you decide to say, okay, I want to leave my father's land to another different country, then you should embrace their laws. You should embrace their principles. You should do anything within your power to make sure that you will be a good citizen, not causing nuisance, not causing problem here and there. Like, no one will ever accept that. Yes, no one will ever accept that. And that has been the main origin of the problem, because they don't want to abide. And once you start correcting them, some of them, they will tell you that, okay, is it because I'm an immigrant? Is it because I'm a different religion? Is it because I'm having the different color with you? And most of these people they forgot to accept their own mistake. Yes, they are using, their own mistake to blame others. I don't think that is ever right. Okay. So guys, the first person raised a question. He said that, okay, what if that most of the immigrants that left their prospective country to another country is because that most of the things, most of the resources that they are being taken from the undeveloped country to developed country, and that is why, and they have been owing a lot of debt, and there have been so many challenges, and that has been the reason that made them, to leave their prospective country to the developed country. And guys, I believe that Douglas Murray has already addressed that, okay, because everything does not based on debt. And guys, like, you can't blame those countries, because the government there are some instability in the government and political issue. Yeah, this has to do with political issue, corruption. That is, there have been a lot of corruption, among the government, among the leaders. Yes, they don't want to do the right thing. They don't want to do the right thing. So I believe that most of these undeveloped country, they know the right thing to do. Yes, they know the right principle, they know the right thing to do, but they refuse to do it. But they just want to, so most of this government, they are just there to rule. They are just there to answer the name president and leader. Yes, they are not leader for the people. They are not even they are not even after what the majority of the people are feeling. So they are just after themselves. So we cannot really blame most of these developed countries that they are the reason. I think this has to do with political issue. Yes, it has to do with political issue. So guys, I'm so excited sharing this video with you. You guys know that I would always appreciate and welcome all of your comments under the comment section. Okay guys, we are all here to learn, we are all here to address all this issue. So I'm going to be in the comment section waiting for your comment. Guys, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Do you think that most of the problem that all these undeveloped countries have been facing, or let me say Africa as a key example, should we say that the problem that they have been facing that we have to blame the developed country, that they are the one taking all the resources from this undeveloped country? Guys, what do you think about that? What do you think about it? I will be in the comment section, to read all your comments and to also give you a reply. Okay, what do you think? So guys, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned and see you all in my next one. Bye.